this video, I'm going to show you 3 different bread recipes. One is quick, the other is easy, and the last one is going to really impress your guests. We're gonna get started on the quick one, and for that, you're going to need 1.5 cups of warm water. We need 1 tablespoon of yeast and 2 tablespoons of sugar. And this is going to activate our yeast, so we're gonna leave this for maybe 5 minutes, and then we will continue with our recipe. Now that our yeast is foamy, it's activated, we are going to finish up our ingredients, and we are going to need 2 tablespoons of soft, room temperature butter. We are going to need 4 cups of flour total, but we're gonna start with just 2. And you wanna make sure that you are spooning in your flour into your measuring cup and leveling off. We're gonna add in a teaspoon of kosher salt on top of that flour. I'm gonna add in a 2nd cup and mix that in. And then for our last cup, so that's 4 cups total. We're gonna get this mixed in, and then once it is all mixed in together, we're gonna bump it up to medium speed and let that knead for about 5 minutes. I'm going to up the speed to medium. So it's been 20 minutes. I got my dough on the counter, lots of flour. I dusted the dough itself with flour. It was a little sticky. So we need to grease our pans. Now, I would recommend a casserole dish, 13 by 9. I, however, do not have one of those right now. So I'm just gonna use some bread pans. And you want to grease these very well. That way our bread just falls right out of them. My pan's greased, so now we're gonna go back to the dough. And this recipe gives you 24 dinner rolls. So first we're gonna cut this in half. So this will be 12, and this will be 12. All right, this will be 6, and this will be 6. Each of these will become 3. I do need a little more flour on my counter. All right, so you should have 12 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and put these into my pan. This bread pan, I'm only going to be able to fit 10. And I'll show you again. So this one needs to make 12. So this will make 6, and this will make 6. And then I'm going to cut this in half. So these will be 3, and this will be 3.
see something. I can see something.
I've got 2 bread pans and I had a couple extra, so just put them into a pie tin. So now these need to sit another 20 minutes or so. We want these to double again. So our bread is out of the oven, but we are not done yet. This is probably one of the most important steps, brushing with melted butter. This is going to help darken the tops up. It's going to get it nice and shiny, and it's going to give you that soft, classic dinner roll texture. And be generous with it. You can't really do too much butter, in my opinion. You're going to want to put these in your bread basket or bowl while they are still hot. Whew. A bowl works good. You definitely want to keep these covered, keep them warm, keep them soft. You could also use your retro bread warmer that your mother-in-law gave to you. Next is the easy bread, which is the no-knead bread. You are going to need 6 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of yeast, and 3.5 teaspoons of salt. We are going to mix these things well, and then add in 3 cups of warm water. Mix this together into a rough dough ball. We are going to cover it up and leave this for 18 to 24 hours. In my previous no-knead video, I got a lot of questions about not having a Dutch oven, so today I'm going to show you another way that you can bake this bread without one. First, we are going to heavily dust our counters with some flour. I wanted to show you real quick how the dough looks after 24 hours. Flour your fingers well and then dump out your dough. We're going to make 2 separate smaller doughs, so we need to divide this. And just shape this as best as you can into a smooth ball. Today my dough is pretty soft. Honestly, I don't always exactly measure my dough every time, so sometimes my dough is kind of soft and formless like this is, but sometimes it is a little firmer. I might put more flour in when I'm making the dough. We are going to put this into the fridge for about an hour. This is going to help it firm up. I'm going to use these pie pans that I have, and definitely I want to trim off the extra parchment. One of the important parts of a Dutch oven is its steam. The bread is literally steaming inside the Dutch oven. So to mimic that, we are going to spray our bread. If you wanted to add in a tray of ice underneath the bread inside the oven, this will really help give you a golden crust. A quick snip at the top, and we are going to bake these for about 30 minutes at 450 degrees. You'll know that they are done when they sound hollow when you tap them. Now, these do not have that beautiful golden flaky crust. I am going to cut this open. I shouldn't yet, but I'm going to cut it open to show you how good it looks on the inside. It is still delicious. It just doesn't have that same golden crust that a Dutch oven provides. but it tastes just as good. Next is our bread to impress. You need just under 1 cup of warm water, 1 3/4 teaspoon of yeast, and a tablespoon of sugar. We're going to mix this all up and let the yeast activate for maybe about 5 minutes. Add in a 1/4 cup of oil, 2 eggs, and we are going to beat this together. Half a tablespoon of salt, and 2 cups of flour. Mix this well and add in the last 2 cups of flour, one at a time. Knead your dough until it is smooth, and then we're going to cover it for an hour. Punch down your dough, get the air out of it, and we are going to recover and let this rise another 30 minutes. Now is for the hard part. We are going to divide the dough into 6 balls and then roll them out. I am just going to roughly divide them. Feel free to weigh it out and divide it evenly. We are going to be making a 6-strand braided loaf. I'm going to try and explain the braid so that you can follow along. We're going to pinch the dough at the top and cross over the top 2. Pull the top down to the middle, and then you're going to cross from the opposite side. Cross down to the middle, cross over to the opposite side. So pull it down to the middle and cross over. Pull it down to the middle and cross over. If you leave everything kind of laid out like this, it makes it a lot easier to keep track of where everything is. So the main important thing here is you are going to pull down one of the top ones, and you're going to replace that with one from the opposite side. And you just keep on going until you reach the end, and then you are going to pinch the bottom. You're just going to keep on going in that pattern until you reach the end, and you're going to pinch it under and put it on a pan lined with parchment paper. We're going to do an egg wash for that classic bakery look. And you're going to let this rise for another hour. But I ran out of time. I had to leave the house. We had an errand that we had to go run. So what I did was I wrapped the dough up in plastic and I put it in the fridge until later that evening. So if you have to do that, just pull it out of the fridge and let it rise for another 40 minutes before you put it in the oven. We need to do a second egg wash, and then we are going to bake it for 35 to 40 minutes at 375 degrees until it is golden brown. It is going to slice much better if you let it cool down first. We just couldn't wait. One of my favorite parts of this bread is the French toast the next day, only if you have leftovers though. Thanks for watching. I hope I gave you some useful recipes for the upcoming holidays, but I really hope that these recipes are simple enough for you to use in your weekly menus so that you can bring from scratch to your home. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
In this beautiful journey, I'll make life mine.